Sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope y'all having a good day. It's a beautiful day here in Georgia. As you can see, I got my vote on today. I would urge each and every one of y'all to go vote, whether you early vote or whether you do it at voting time. But I knew I was going to have surgery, so I had to go ahead and get my vote on. So be sure, no matter which team you're on, vote. Because that's what needs to happen. Everybody needs to vote. If you don't vote, you have no right to complain or say anything about what's going on in the world. So, go vote. What are you doing, Penny Rose? Where you at? What are you doing, Penny Rose? You're wet. You been in the pool? Come here. You been in the pool? Have you been in the pool? Can't get her in there. Yeah. What you doing?
I ain't doing that.
You doing nothing.
I ain't doing nothing. I'm fixing to. Where's the screw thing goes in there?
There's 2 screw guns in there on the wash machine, on the dryer, I think. What you fixing to do?
I'm gonna move one of my guitars.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I do too. The man's just always got something to do. Always is busy. So we might have to go look in there and see what he's gonna do. Because you don't never know. Don't never know what he's gonna do. Let me do something right here. But yeah, we went and voted. So we got that done, and we washed vehicles yesterday and all that. So I'm trying to see something over here. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see. Oh, foot. Let's go in there and see what he's doing. Let me take this off of here. No, I won't. I'll just take it in there like this. I got something to read to y'all in a little while after we see what he's up to. I'm going to turn it around. Where you going to put it?
Move it over.
Yeah, this is his office and his guitar curtains, and got one guitar over here. It's gonna put his dobro over there. So he's just the busy man. He hadn't got his office fixed yet. He got all kind of his daddy's guns and his guns and all kind of stuff. Old stuff that belonged to. I think he's even got one in there that was my granddaddy's, don't you? Mm-hmm. Got one of my granddaddy's, and got pistols in there. We had in North Georgia, and I was at the house by myself, and his daddy was worried about me. So this the one he gave me? I think it is. Is that the one he gave me? Okay, let me show you what he gave me. Let me turn you around. Okay. I was by myself now, and he gives me this pistol. It's really bigger than me, but I never used it. He just wanted me to have it in case. So this is mine. It don't belong to my husband. It belongs to me. Because his daddy was worried about me being by myself. In a neighborhood, we just moved up there and we didn't know a whole lot of people anyway, but this is his guns, his pistols, and there's another one in there, and there's one that belonged to his mama's that I think I'm gonna get him to, he's gonna clean up, fix for me. So, you done?
I'm done with that.
So, we've got a lot of work to do. You can take them and put them in the car in the truck when you get a minute. Yes, them. So anyway, this is what our life is about. We're always doing something and having something going, and he's wonderful. Uh-oh. I think I lost my glasses. I left them back there, I think. You gonna go out there with Daddy? Mom, open the door. She has to go out there and follow him everywhere he goes. So, these are flowers that my very dear friend gave me when I found out I had breast cancer, and I'm so happy and so pleased with them. Let me go back here and find my glasses. Yep, they're right there where I left them. So, I guess you saw where we had had lunch today. He had a doctor's appointment. Let me turn you back around. He had a doctor's appointment, so we went to Cheddar's and had lunch. And I had salmon. And my granddaughter since she was a little bitty girl, has always called it pink fish. Now let's go get some pink fish. Let's go get some pink fish. So that's what I had today, was pink fish. And why won't my computer work? Maybe I need to plug it up. That might be a reason, but I don't know. I'm trying to see. Come on now. But anyway, while that's kind of booting up, I had my Bible, one of my Bibles recovered, maybe last year, year before. And I was looking through it, and I found this in there, and I thought it was really interesting. A Quaker's Dozen, the 12 rules of life. Let me start over with this. There's 12 rules for a way of life, written long ago, family Bible. Still fits today's problems. Number 1, begin your day with a prayer. Work hard. Love your family. Make light of your troubles. Follow the golden rule. Read from the Bible. Show kindness. Read worthwhile books. Be pure and clean. Have charity in your heart. Be obedient and respectful in the day in prayer. So, that's pretty good rules to follow. Pretty good rules to go by. Especially begin your day with prayer and end your day with prayer. Because if we can do that, we'll be a whole lot better off. The world would be better off if we would do that. If everybody would begin and end with prayer. And pray for one another. Because that's very much needed. We need to pray for one another. My computer's shedding light on my glasses. I have to take them off. But, that's weird. But anyway, I'll just turn it off and figure it out later. So, our day has been busy. I had Bible study this morning. And in that Bible study, we was talking about a hedge of protection. You know, a lot of people, when they read Job, all they think about is what Job lost. But let me find. I want to read to you what we studied a little bit on this morning. Job, the first chapter. And starting at the 10th verse, it said, now this is the devil talking to Jesus. He said, hast not thou made a hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he has on every side? Thou hast blessed the works of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. Okay. God had a hedge around Job. Do you know we can pray for that hedge, for God to put a hedge around us? He can put a hedge around us and do the same thing. I pray every day that God put a hedge around me, my husband, my children. And this says a hedge about him and his house, and about all that he hath on every side. Okay, and his land. You can not only play a hedge of protection around you, but what about your car? When you get in the car, God put a hedge of protection around my car, around my house, around our property, around me. My husband travels a lot, and I've prayed out when he leaves, I pray that hedge of protection around him. I also pray a hedge of protection around me and our house and all, because I'm here most of the time by myself. And then he tells him, he said, but put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse you to thy face. He's telling God, take your hand away from him. Take that hedge away from him, and he will curse you. So this is showing me that we need to pray for that hedge of protection. We need to pray for that, that God will take care of us, and that he will put that hedge of protection around it. And in the study, in my studying in it, some notes that I took during the study part of it was that hedge of protection. The hedge of protection is like a spiritual wall of fire. And I'm thinking it like the bloodline of Jesus. There's a spiritual wall of fire around us. And because Satan can't cross the bloodline either. But that spiritual wall of fire around us. And he's telling the Lord, you take your hand off of him and he'll curse you to his face. to your face. So what does God say? And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Only upon himself put not thy hands. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. So God took the hedge away from him. See, Satan cannot touch us. God allows him to. He can't do anything to us that God don't allow him to do for us. That's what it says. He cannot do that. He couldn't touch Job. He couldn't touch Job until God said it's okay. He has to ask permission. Well, I pray for that hedge of protection around me all the time, but it does not mean that I'm not going to have problems, have things in my life that, like this cancer stuff. I could get really upset and really down and out about, Lord, why'd you let me have cancer? But he has a plan. He has a plan for my life. He has a plan for your life. What this is going to turn out to be, I don't know, but it's going to be glorious. It's going to be something to glorify him. But this opened my eyes to some things. But if you don't already pray for a hedge of protection around your family, you need to begin to do that, because it's very important. Your children, your grandchildren, as your children are out in school and as they get teenagers and out around people that you don't know, we can't always be there to hover around and mother them and get them close to us. We can't always be there to do that, but God can. And we have to ask him, Lord, put that hedge of protection around him. He already has that hedge, but let's keep asking. He knows our need before we pray, but we need to ask the things we need to know. Well, as we were going on through this lesson, there's another time, and it was Luke 22. And this is about Peter. Very interesting stuff. It was about Peter. Peter was warned, but failed to stay faithful to God when things got hot in behind him. He crumbled and denied God. Okay, so Luke 22:31, and through 33, it says, And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith not fail. And when thou art converted, strengthened by the brethren. Okay, God warned him that Satan was after him. Have you been warned? Has God warned you about things and you didn't take heed to it? Has God tried to direct you to go this way and you wanted to go that way instead? You just wonder what's happening, what's going on. Well, you look at this, and God was testing his faith, because I prayed for you, he said. But then Peter got to the point now Job was not warned, but Peter was warned that this is going to happen, that that Satan's trying to destroy you, in other words. So we're warned sometimes, in your heart when something's wrong and you're not supposed to do it, but we do it anyway. So let's look at it this way. Okay, Peter said, wait a minute, let me read a little further down here. And he said unto him, Lord, I am ready to go with thee both into prison and to death. So he was ready to follow the Lord. He was ready to do whatever it took for the Lord. He was going to be dedicated, okay? But what happened? When he got pushed into a corner, he denied God. He didn't stand up for what he believed in. Do you and I do that? This was something this morning in Bible study that our ladies we all looked at ourselves and think, wow, are you in a situation sometimes where people are are downgrading the Lord, or talking bad about God's people, and we just sit back and we're real complacent and we don't do anything about it? Is that happening? Yes, it is. Are you at a party sometimes, like a Christmas party at your business or office or whatever, and people are doing things that you don't agree with, and that you don't, that's not what you want, you believe in and what you do. But rather than stand your ground and say, no, I don't do these things, you do them with them. We need to stand our ground. If we don't stand for God, we're going to fall for anything. Well, are we denying God when we do that, just like Peter did? Peter denied him 3 times. Are we denying God when we don't stand up for what we believe in? Are we denying God when people are using profanity so bad it hurts your ears, and they say the words that, nobody wants to hear, but it's become a common word nowadays? Do we just sit there and don't say anything? Do we not stand up for our principles and what we believe in? That we don't believe in that kind of language, and I don't want to hear it. Please don't talk about like that around me. Are we denying God? Something to think about. Are you denying God like Peter did when we don't stand up? Are you denying God when you see somebody maybe bullying somebody else, and you know that's not right, and you feel in your heart to do something about it? What are we doing? God expects us to do the right thing. But we have to stand up for God. Because it says, if you're ashamed of me, I will be ashamed of you. So are you ashamed of God? Or are you going to stand up and be what God have you to be? Or are you going to be like Peter and deny him? Not only 1 time, but 3 times. It's made me stop and think. I need to stand up more for God. I don't need to and I've always been taught, and I'm a person that I don't want to cause trouble. My mom always told me, blessed is the peacemaker. That has stuck in my mind and my heart and my soul. And so I am very much not wanting to cause trouble. But sometimes you need to. So if somebody's saying something wrong about the word, about your friends, about something like that, you need to tell them, no, that's not right. Stand up for what you believe in, because that's what God does. We don't have to be ugly about it, but we have to stand up for our faith and what we believe. So this is just something that we discussed this morning, and we didn't even get down to the part where in Matthew, I think Matthew, Matthew 10, 1 through 20, I think, that he was converted back. No, Matthew 26, 69 through 75, that he came back to God. He repented of his sins. Okay, so if he had to repent for his sins and come back to God because he denied him 3 times, do we not have to do that? Do we sin? Does that mean you can backslide? Think about that. People say you can't backslide. Well, if you can't backslide, why did Peter have to come back? Why did he have to come back and ask for forgiveness? So it's just something that we need to think about. What would you do in times of trouble? If God warned us that we were going to fail him, will we be like Peter and say, no, we'll be faithful, but then we're not? We're not faithful. Have you ever been in a situation where God has laid upon something on your heart to do, and you know you're supposed to do that thing, and you don't do it, are you denying God? Are we being like Peter and denying what God's told us to do? So that's just a little bit of what we did this morning and in our Bible study, and it was really good, and we had a good discussion about it, and that's what I love about my little Bible study. So y'all continue to pray for each other, pray for me as I'm going on this journey. If you have a prayer request or need prayer, drop it in the comments or something. And I'm trying to build my channel. I think I'm up to 80 subscribers right now, which that's not very many, but that's okay. It's 80 more than I had. But God's going to work this way He wants it to be worked. I'm doing it for His glory, and that's the only thing. I'm doing it for the glory of God. So y'all be blessed. And remember, Jesus loves you, and so do I. So until next time.